Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is a quick video tutorial as requested by a student looking for these two particular topics. One of them is a DSA question. Actually, both of them are DSA questions, so they're things that you want to keep in mind and keep very careful with. The first one, power, product, and quotient rules with negative exponents, gives students just enough of a pause that I'll do a few more examples than usual. First things first, the thing to remember specifically about negative exponents is that it means you flip where you are in the fraction, and you have to do it kind of piecemeal as a result of that. So we'll start off with a basic one. So over here we see that that's in the wrong spot, that's in the wrong spot, and that's in the wrong spot. And I know that because all of those exponents are negative. So before I try to give myself a headache, I want to get rid of those first to make it visually easier. So that becomes u squared over z to the first. Then it becomes u, z to the third, and then 2, and then x is the one that drops down to the third power. And you can see visually that that's a lot nicer to look at because there's no more negative exponents to just sort of like visually trick you. Then, like we did in earlier topics, we're going to take this outside exponent and kind of distribute it across everything inside. So it'll be u squared over z, because we haven't touched that yet. U to the 1 times 3, u cubed. Z to the 3 times 3, z to the 9. 2 cubed is 8. X to the 4 times 3 is x to the 4th. And now we're ready. We can now multiply across. So u squared and u to the third is u to the 2 plus 3, which is u to the 5th. Let's see here. Z to the 9th divided by z, we're going to take away 1, so it becomes z to the 8th. And we're left with 8 over x to the 4th as our final answer. Okay, next up we can see here now everything is positive, which means everything is where it's supposed to be, except for this. Now what I'm going to do is, since I know that I'm eventually distributing that to everything that's inside, and since negative means I'm going to end up flipping it to begin with, I'm just going to flip it now. So that means all of this goes under. So this would be negative 3x cubed y to the 4th z. And since I flipped it, squared times xz squared. And what's your placeholder here when you don't have anything? A 1. Now, visually, the negative exponent is gone, and that's easier. I can take my squared and I can distribute it across everything. So 1 over negative 3 squared is positive 9. X to the 3 times 2 is x to the 6. Y to the 4 times 2 is y to the 8th. Z squared is just z squared times xz squared. Remember that that's over 1, so let's see if there's any subtraction we can do. Z squared and squared completely cancels out. This x only gets rid of one of these x's, so my final answer is 1 over 9x to the 5th, since we're down 1, y to the 8th as my final answer. And now what happens if you have a little bit of a mix and a match? So we can see here we have a bunch of negative exponents, and then we have the one on the outside. Oh no, the horror. What I recommend, especially for beginners, is you kind of want to do it one at a time. So start with your inside parentheses first, and then do your outside parentheses. So these two are in the wrong spot, so those are the ones I'm going to fix. 3x cubed y z to the negative third, and then it's going to be z to the 4th over y squared. All right, so some of the negatives are gone. Now I got to take care of this one. So it'll be 1 over 3x cubed y z cubed z to the 4th y squared. Oh, visually that was a lot better. Now I'm going to take this and distribute it across. So 1 over 3 cubed is 27. X to the 3 times 3 is 9. Y cubed is cubed, and z cubed is just cubed over z to the 4th y squared. So z to the 4th, the z to the cube takes out a lot of it, so I'm left with just z on top. 27. Now let's see here. X to the 9th, and then I have y cubed and y squared, so 3 plus 5 is y to the 5th as my final answer. Same thing here, they're all over the place. These are the ones that are in the wrong spot, as is this one. We're going to take care of those first. So 3y, z moves top, x moves down, squared over x cubed z. Visually, much nicer to look at, no negative exponents. Now I'm going to take my outside exponent and distribute it to everything inside. So 3 squared is 9, y squared, z to the 2 times 2, which is 4, x to the 2 times 2, which is 4. Then we have x cubed over z. So x cubed cancels out basically all of my exponents here. 1z here, which means I'm only pulling out 1 here. So that's 9y squared, z cubed over x as our final answer. So this comes in a couple of different flavors, but ultimately you want to do your inside negative exponents first and then your outside negative exponents next. Compound interest, this is exactly like a prior request video, so the formula is exactly the same. Our answer is going to be our principal times 1. Now because this is banking is always going to be addition, your rate over n t. This should look familiar. Last time I had taken this letter and I had pulled it out because I said we were saving it for a later topic. So first things first, in case you have forgotten, P is your principal, aka your starting amount. 1 is always used, plus is always going to be used for this topic. R is your rate. You have to take it as a percent and convert it to a decimal. T is our time. There's no weird ones here. It's always going to be done in years. And now N is the new letter. N is your compounding. And instead of giving you a number here, they're going to give you a word. So the words they give you are annually, semi-annually, quarterly, and what's the other one? Monthly. And they expect you to know what number those 4 words mean. So monthly, that's easy. There's 12 months in a year. Quarterly, there's 4 quarters in a dollar. Semi-annually, semi means half or 2. Annually, well, think about your annual holidays. That is once a year. So from here, all of the rest of the information we already know how to use. We're just using the ends for the first time when we're looking at this equation compared to the last topic we did in my prior request video. So what's my start amount? 4,000. 1 plus what's my interest rate? It is 2.5, so I'm going to move it over 2 places to 0.025. And now it's compounded quarterly. What's our number for quarterly? 4. 4 is going to go 2 places. It's going to go underneath, and excuse me, it's going to go up in the exponent, times 5. And again, the calculator does the work for you. Once you input that into your calculator, all the rest of it will spit out your answer. The thing to keep in mind, this time instead of rounding to the nearest whole number, we're rounding to the nearest cent, so that's 2 decimal places. Over here, same thing. What's your starting amount? 8,000. Mr. Blanc. 1 plus what's our rate? 13.5%. Move it over 1, 2, so 0.135. This time it's compounded semi-annually, which is 2. 2 goes down here, and it goes up here, and it's 2 times 8 years. Funnel that into the calculator, let it spit out your answer, and remember, because you're rounding to the nearest cent, it's going to have 2 decimal places. So hopefully this helps you out. You should be near 85% by now. If there are any other topics, as always, let me know with the title topics, and I'll make a video within 24 hours. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. I'll see you in the next one.